Good day, grade 11s. Today we are going to look at, continue to look at trig equations, but today we are going to look at a type that is like this, where the trig function has a bracket instead of just a theta or an alpha. Okay, so how do we treat these equations? Okay, first and foremost, we want to maintain the way that we were doing the equation. So you want to maybe substitute this and write it as a letter, whatever is inside the bracket. So that's what I've written here. We treat what is inside the bracket as 1. So you can call this a B or a C or any other letter that you choose, so that it looks like the equations that we did previously. Okay, so now instead of tan this bracket equals to 2, we have tan B equals to 2, which is now similar to what we did previously. So now you do your analysis. Tan is positive in the first and third quadrant, so I'm going to have two values. My value is going to be first 63.43, and then my second value is going to be in the third quadrant 180 plus 63.3, which is 243.43. Then once you have the two angles that you have calculated from the analysis that you have, then you can reintroduce the bracket. So only when you have the two angles, you've calculated the two angles, can you then sort out what is inside the bracket. So for this side, now we reintroduce the bracket. So in the place of beta, we write theta plus 30, which is equal to 63.43. Then you can take 30 to the other side, and then theta is going to become 33.43. Do the same also this side. Instead of B here, we write theta plus 30, which is equals to 243, and then 30 comes to the other side, and then theta is equals to 213.43. So basically what we are just saying here is that whenever there's a bracket next to the trig function, you just treat it as 1. Even when there's a 3, you treat it as 1. One thing, until you can find the two angles, then can you sort out what is over there. Okay, so that's what I've written here. The bracket can only be dealt with once you have found the angle given by the two quadrants. Okay, I have example 2 here, which now says 2 cos and then bracket 2 beta minus 26 close bracket equals to negative 1.5. Again, we can just substitute this and call it, let it be C. So I called it C so that the equation now looks like 2 cos C equals to negative 1.5. Okay, now you do your analysis. Okay, before you do your analysis, you divide by 2 so that we isolate the cos. Okay, so when you isolate the cos C, then divide by 2, you get 3/4. Now remember what we said, if there's a negative, it means we need to first find a reference angle which is in the first quadrant. Okay, so that's what I did. I found the first in the reference angle, which is 41.41. Remember, when you find the reference angle, you drop the negative, because in the first quadrant all the trig functions are positive. Okay, then you find your C2 by following this that we said yesterday, that in the second quadrant the angles is 180 minus theta, and in the third quadrant is 180 plus theta. Then you find your C. Then once you have the two angles that are stipulated by the two places that you found in your analysis, then can you introduce what was in the bracket. So in the place of C2, you you then put 2 beta minus 26, that whatever is in the bracket, then it is equals to 138.59, and then you solve for beta. So we take 26 to the other side and then we divide by 2. Then beta comes out as 82.30. Okay, and then here again, in the place of C3, we will write 2 beta minus 26 equals to 221.41. And then again, you solve for beta. Then beta comes out as 123.71. So basically, what we are saying is that you can only deal with what is inside the bracket once the equation has been solved. So once you have the two angles that are stipulated by this, then you can be able to work with what is inside the bracket. So same thing this side. I hope it's going to be clear. Please do exercise 11 on page 162, number 2 and number 3, and then the yellow page which I'm going to send to you, which I mean you do number 2, A, B, and C. Maybe before I knock off, if you have something like this, if you have tan 3 theta equals to, let's say, 1, you are going to put this in a bracket like that, and then you can call this you can call it your C, so that you have tan tan C, which is equal to 1. Then you solve your equation. Once you have solved your equation, then you can then sort out what is inside the bracket. So if you've got something like this, put it in a bracket. Whatever is next to the tan, you put it in a bracket, and then you can solve your equation like that. Okay, I hope it is clear. All right, see you later.